This is what we mean. And I am just selecting a few examples. Islam is full of examples. We know that Islam was spread. In the countries where Islam is today, most of Islam was not spread by conquest. Most of it was spread by example. Yes, by da'wah, some by preaching, but mostly people saw these Muslims, saw the way they behaved. They arrived as traders. And how did they trade? Like us today? Cheating, stealing, see how much we can rip them off? As one brother said, he's going to give me a hard time for this, but I can't resist it. As one brother said, his job is to fix things. I won't say what might give it away. His job is to fix things. What did he do? Put out the plug, put it in, $120 please. I mean, it's the normal rate, fair enough. Okay? But, okay, it's not the type of thing that spreads Islam, right? Seriously. Look at the traders. If you look at them, their action, their behavior, their honesty, their truthfulness, their trustworthiness. Subhanallah. Subhanallah, this is the thing. And there was enough. The people didn't need to hear, what is your religion? They said, I want to follow your religion. I want to follow your religion. I tell you an example from my own life, where action spoke louder than words. I could give you many examples. Many examples. I remember my cook, when I used to live in Egypt, I remember my cook, Ibrahim, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy upon him. I used to say he was the kindest, sweetest man. Subhanallah. And being Easter, it's quite appropriate, this story. Okay? At the time, it was very difficult to get Western things in Egypt when I lived there. And my mum had bought these Swiss chocolate Easter eggs. And there were all these little Easter eggs, and she put them in this big basket in the kitchen. Big mistake. Okay? And she put them in the basket near the door. And me and my brother, of course, you know, we'd just take one and think, yeah, it wouldn't make any difference. And we'd take one. You know, and like just before Easter arrived, there was like 2 left. We had totally demolished them. I don't know how my mum didn't see it, but one day she came in and said, where are all my Easter eggs? Anthony, did you do it? No, it wasn't me. Duncan, did you do it? No. So my mum went to talk to Ibrahim, the cook. This is Ibrahim. He loved us so much. I don't know why. We were horrors. But he loved me and my brother so much. You know what he did? He took blame for it himself. He took blame for it. Subhanallah. This kind, sweet man. Stuck in my mind. He's Muslim and he's the guy I used to see praying. Subhanallah. Actions speak louder than words, brothers and sisters. And subhanallah, I could give you many examples. Brothers that and I tell often brothers this, or sisters, when we're having a discussion. I remember many years ago, I was having a discussion with someone. We were having a debate about Shia Sunni Shia debate. So the brother was very, very insistent. No, the Shia this and such. And I was saying, no, they're not, and you shouldn't say that, and they're Muslims and such and whatever. So he took me out to dinner, and he bought this Sheikh from Saudi. So he was going, the brother was going, go on Sheikh, tell him, go on Sheikh, tell him. Like this, okay? So the Sheikh's just saying, Mustafa, calm down. So the Sheikh starts, brother Abdur Raheem, and so he says a few words before it, you know, I'm just saying, blah, 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 this and that, this and that. He says, Yekhi, alhamdulillah, it's no problem. Let's just enjoy our food. Subhanallah, I was so impressed with his adab, his akhlaq. I was so impressed. I thought, subhanallah. You know, when I read the Quran, and I read what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about the believers, how they say peace to the ignorant, subhanallah. I was so impressed that I thought, no, now I want to know what this guy has to say. I want to know what he has to say. I wish I had listened to him, because I was so impressed with his manners. Actions speak louder than words, brothers and sisters. That is something that we have to understand. Let us be very careful about what we say. Alhamdulillah, let us also be careful about what we do. But let us concentrate our efforts, brothers and sisters, on worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. in directing our attention to learning Allah, to learning His deen. Let us reduce this criticism of each other, this backbiting of each other. And I have to mention something. I feel I'm sorry, I have to mention this. I gave a talk yesterday. And some people seem to be confused about my talk. And of course, I was mentioning, as you know, those of you who listened to it, I was trying to point out the fact that Islam has encouraged and honored the woman as a mother and as an obedient wife. And I mentioned, and I stand by it, that it is very sad to see that some brothers and sisters have this attitude, we're going to have 1 or 2 kids. And that we're going to leave it at that. And then some information came to me today, that there are some, almost immediately, one sister started receiving criticism. Oh, you sister, you see you've just got 2 kids. Why are you having more? Yet this sister is doing something which no other sister can do. She is teaching tajweed. And the reason that she doesn't want to have more kids is because if she gets morning sickness and she's looking after the kids, she is not going to be able to teach tajweed. Are we on the same planet here, brothers and sisters? I'm not quite sure. Because what we were talking about was being defeated by the mentality of the kuffar. Their mentality is that we have 1 or 2 kids. Why? So we can enjoy the dunya. Because we as women don't want to be oppressed by that. But this is something from the deen. How did you get confused about what I was saying? And then I thought about it and I realized that what the real reason is, brothers and sisters, is this sickness in our heart that we've got. We love to talk a lot. We love to criticize others. We love to pick at their faults. But I wonder how those sisters who criticize that sister, I wonder how their actions are. I wonder what things they are doing themselves to help Allah's deen, to make the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the highest. Because I don't think that if someone had sat down and thought about my talk, they would have got confused about that. But this is symptomatic, brothers and sisters. And by the way, this is a sickness that so many of us have. And it's not just, the sisters. No, it's very widespread. So let us concentrate, brothers and sisters, on worshipping Allah. Let us concentrate on purifying our hearts. Have you reached khushu' in your prayer? Do you stand in front of Allah as if He's seeing you, as if you're seeing Him? Although you can't see Him, you know He is seeing you. Can you pray 2 rak'ah? Tell me honestly, can you pray 2 rak'ah? As if it's your mi'raj? Have we even learnt the fara'id? How is our emulation of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam? Brothers and sisters, these are the things I want all of us to think about. Myself, it's not a criticism of anyone. First it starts with me. And inshallah I hope these words are for me first before anybody else. And finally, brothers and sisters, I want to mention something. I'm not going to preempt Abu Hamza's talk. He may talk about this, he may not. But one final thing that I want to mention is this. I want to encourage all of us to love one another, brothers and sisters. Let us love one another. Because you know what? That's something we're really missing. It's there, alhamdulillah, a bit. We need it more. We need love. I know it sounds like some hippie, whatever, this and that, but really, believe me, the more I think about it, the more I want to tell you, brothers and sisters, all of you. Everyone here today, everyone who came, I love you for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I love my Muslim brothers and sisters. Alhamdulillah for Islam. And believe me, if I love you for your Lebanese cooking, okay, it's very good by the way, okay, and I love you because you're good looking people, okay, and I love you because you're friendly Aussies, okay, believe me, you know what? It's no good. It's no good. It's actually useless. We need to love each other for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We love each other for our Islam. Because we're upon this noble, beautiful deen that has been given to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. We need to tell each other we love each other. We need to be brothers and sisters in Islam. We need to support each other. We need it so bad. Especially living here in the West. We can't afford to be any other way. So this is something else, brothers and sisters, we have to work on. We have to work on it. We have to work on reminding ourselves how we should be to our Muslim brothers and sisters, how we should love for our brothers and sisters what we love for ourselves. And we know the hadith, we all know it, that we can never truly have true iman until we love for our brother and love for our sisters what we love for ourselves. Spend our time and energy working on that, brothers and sisters. And let us advise each other in the best way, in the way that we would accept it. If we wanted someone to talk to us, just think about it. Think. If you want to talk about someone or talk to someone, think first, how would I like that person to talk to me? How would I like that person to approach me? How would I like that person to advise me? Love for them what you love for yourself. Deal with them the way you would like them to deal with you. This is the essence, brothers and sisters, really of what it's all about. And that doesn't stop there. Let's take it another stage. Let's take it to the stage of the kuffar. And I'm not saying we love them, but we love for them to be guided to Islam. Let us treat them the way that we would like to be treated if we were them. If you were a kafir, how would you like to be treated by a Muslim? How would you like to be approached by a Muslim? Whether it's the police, whether it's the normal person in the shop, whether it's your work colleagues, think about it. Because really, brothers and sisters, the other action we need to occupy ourselves with here is da'wah. Is da'wah. And I truly believe if you really occupy yourself with da'wah in this country the way you should, most of our problems, 99% of them, I believe, would dissipate. You wouldn't have time. We would not have time for most of the nonsense that goes on between us. And that's what I found. When I look back in England and I see some of the things the brothers are saying over there and the criticisms they are leveling and calling people who have been on the sunnah for years and calling to the sunnah for years, calling them mubtadi'een and stuff like that and innovators and accusing them of this and this. And I know you have the same thing here. I look at them and most of the time I find that these brothers are not involved in giving da'wah to the kuffar. They are not. 90% of them are not. Because believe me, if they were, they would not have time for that type of stuff. This, my brothers and sisters, is my sincere advice to myself and yourself. I love all my brothers and sisters in Islam for the pleasure of Allah, inshaAllah. And I want to say also that if I have said anything to upset my brothers and sisters that was unjust, then I ask for your forgiveness. I ask for your first Allah's forgiveness and then your forgiveness. We don't want to have any problems between us on the Day of Judgment. And finally, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.